launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations at emerginginv.com. Wow, what an interesting game. A 14-12 loss to the Packers. The Buccaneers offense is stagnant. It can't score touchdowns, and it's definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. We really appreciate you watching and listening each and every day. Tyoka Jackson, former Buccaneer, set to join us, calling games for ESPN and Buccaneers. So we're going to chat with him about all things college football and the Buccaneers. Of course, we got all the sound from yesterday's post game. I asked Tom Brady about the 2-point conversion, what happened, and it's a very interesting conversation that we had. And I certainly don't think he owned it like maybe he should have. We'll talk about that. I was watching tape last night, and I watched it again this morning, and there is definitely some controversy here. You watch the tape on the 2-point try. And by the way, the 2-point try is very liberal in the way they set the 25-second clock because, there's celebration. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not like the normal running of the game. The officials are basically going to decide when they start the 25-second clock. And it's usually when both teams have made their substitutions, everybody's ready to go. It's very rare to have a delay of game. And as I bring in Nick Geddes, and you were just telling me Greg Auman was talking about this on his Twitter this morning. I did not know that, but I was coming in to say, there's this is an issue. As I was watching again the tape this morning, and you can't see the referee in the TV copy. You can't see the referee, but you hear the whistle blow. So I got my timer out, and when you hear the whistle blow for play, okay, it's a shot on the huddle. Okay, by the time, and I've got my clock out. So I started at 25 right there. By the time you see the play clock on the television screen, the play clock is clearly 5 seconds ahead of where it should have been. If you're going by the whistle, which is all I can hear, I can't see the play clock. If you're going by the whistle for play, which I'm guessing that was the whistle for play by the rhythm of the game, then if you connect that up with your 25-second clock, it's about 5 to almost 6 seconds ahead. So clearly, and Brady's got this time clock in his head. This is a guy who's played that long. He hears the whistle for play. He calls the play. He knows he's getting out of the huddle at a certain time where he has a check. Now, did Brady lose sight of the play clock? I'm going to say probably he did because he goes to check to that play 3 seconds, maybe 2 seconds left on the clock. You can't do that. You can't do that. As I bring in Nick Geddes from Outsider.com.
Yeah, good morning, by the way.
Yes.
Good morning. I hope you did have a good time yesterday at the game because I saw that it was, the highest?
Yeah, biggest crowd in Buccaneer history,
Raymond James history.
So 69,197.
Yeah, I wish they had more to cheer about in this game offensively because this was an absolute, and part of my shit show.
Yeah.
Shit show
awful.
Of an offense yesterday.
Yeah.
It was dreadful. It came off so much of the 2020 season before they got things going in the bye week. This is what the offense looked like, but this was worse. This was up there with that Saints game. Maybe not that bad on the Monday night game. I don't think any will or the Sunday night game. Nothing will top that. But this might be the second worst performance offensively of the Tom Brady era. Dreadful, dreadful offense. And I'm not afraid to say it. This offense stinks right now.
It's bad.
They stink.
It's bad.
They're the only team, I think, in the NFL to not score, I think, a first-half touchdown.
They have not scored a first-half touchdown.
The only team in the NFL?
Yeah. Tom Brady.
The only team. And Tom Brady at quarterback.
Yeah.
Well,
here's the macro on that. Okay, listen. For Tom Brady to be effective, he has to have weapons around him. He's not Lamar Jackson. This just in. He has to have weapons around him. Yesterday, at about 12 minutes left in the third quarter, you look out there, the three receivers were Kalen Geiger, Jalen Darden, and a hamstring pulled Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Good luck, Tom Brady. Good luck with that. Because I got news for you. Tom Brady is not the quarterback to quarterback that team. He's not. Plus, he's working with John Boy Walton as his left tackle, a rookie at left guard, virtual rookie at center. Shaq Mason who I'm not going to say he's playing great football right now. He got out late on the screen that could have been a big play yesterday. Not really moving people at the line of scrimmage. Tristan Wirfs is an all-pro. So you've got a makeshift offensive line with those three receivers. Oh, and your tight end is Cam Brate. I got news for you, folks. That offense ain't moving the ball. We can bitch about, and there were too many penalties. There were too many, well, I don't know if there were drop passes. For some reason, Buccaneer receivers are not allowed to catch and run with the ball. They have to catch the ball and fall down.
What's going on at the field? Do I need to call it the field maintenance team? I'm going to just say it's the receivers. Cole Beasley, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. You catch a ball out, and this is what he's been doing all his career. You catch the ball in stride and you run for the first down.
The field. He wasn't doing it. Russell Gage was doing it. Scotty Miller was doing it, which, by the way, Scotty Miller,
bye-bye.
Get off the team.
Bye-bye.
He's off the team.
Yeah.
He has no business
5 targets, 1 catch for 4 yards.
He had a penalty, so his net was -1 yard.
That penalty, by the way, he's lined up, and then he goes to dig his cleat in the back, just resetting his foot. Didn't really move. And they call that a false start.
Well,
I'm like, come on.
Brady was pissed.
I know he was.
The TV copy caught it, and he was like, you could hear him before they cut the mic. He was like, Scotty.
Yeah, but he didn't really do anything. I mean, that was such a this crew's known for the ticky-tack false start. And there was another false start from the 2 tackles, who both moved, which tells me Hainsey snapped it late. Hainsey was not great yesterday. He was getting blown up at the point of attack. Gedeke was getting overpowered.
The Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary matchup on the left side of the line. Yeah. Not even a contest.
Yeah, not good. So the macro on this is Tom Brady cannot quarterback that offense because, and I said this to you right before we started, there are moments when he has really good protection and it breaks down on all he needs to do is just make, like on a scale of 1 to 10, a 3 athletic play and step up in the pocket, and he's falling down. He's 45 years old. Okay, whatever. But he needs to be a little bit stronger in the pocket than what he's been, in my opinion. So I don't think Brady was great, but he's not a guy that can work with that. You can't work with that. That's not.
Here's what I push back,
Tom Brady has to have weapons to be effective at 45 years old. He can't do this.
I'm not giving him a pass. Because I thought Brady played as well as you could in that situation. That being said, you're paid to score points. It didn't happen. Turnovers, they still are just horrendous on third down, horrendous in the red zone, whatever. But I'm looking on the other side of the ball. Who's Aaron Rodgers throwing to? Romeo Doubs? There was no Christian Watson in this game. There was no Sammy Watkins in this game.
I know.
You mean to tell me that what the Bucs had out there wasn't better than Romeo Doubs, Alan Lazard, and old man Randall Cobb?
Listen, look at what they're working with offensively, though. Okay, and here's the difference between Brady and Rodgers. What is Rodgers doing? He's escaping and making plays. And most of their offense, I'm here to tell you, was off schedule yesterday. There wasn't a whole lot.
It was his brilliance.
It's his brilliance, yeah. But he moves in the pocket and makes those quick throws. That's not Brady's game. So he can make those guys better. And their entire offense is predicated on what? The RPO. A lot of movement this way, come back and throw the other way. The bootlegs. These are things that Brady can't do. You can't have that in your offensive package.
And the thing is, the difference too there, it's like if you blitz Rodgers, he's going to tear you up all day.
Exactly.
If you blitz Brady, it's a different story.
Well, he usually gets the ball out and burns you. It
wasn't going to happen
yesterday. But here's the thing. In those situations, when he gets the ball out and burn you, he's working with experienced guys who know hot routes and know when the blitz is coming and where it's coming to look for the ball. Inexperienced guys don't do that. So he has to eat the ball sometimes in blitzes where if he had an experienced receiver, a Gronk, somebody he's worked with that knows how to, look for the ball right off the snap on a blitz and do it. And you don't even have to say anything. It's an automatic adjustment. Mm-hmm. You're not getting that from Kalen Geiger or whomever. All right. So that is a huge issue when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback. Hell, honestly, with these receivers, you'd probably be better off having Blaine Gabbert in there. I'm not joking. Because these guys are not going to get open off their initial routes. They're not going to get separation. Your only chance is for somebody to run around and make a playoff schedule. I'm half joking here, but my point is Brady can't work with this kind of talent.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. And maybe it's just an observation more so than the problem. The Bucs spent so much of this offseason getting it right with the wide receiver depth. We've been raving about the depth of the receiver position, the tight end position. How's that working out so far? Because they did it on purpose because they knew there was going to come a game or a time this year where they were going to have 2 guys out. Now they have 3 out, and it happens in week 3 at an inopportune time. I get all that. But they did all this, the reinforcements at the receiving position. Russell Gage, Cole Beasley,
and it still isn't
Scotty
enough.
Miller. It's still not enough. These guys can't play.
They got to stay healthy.
I'm just pointing that out there. They cannot. They cannot play. And I'm mostly pointing that at Scotty Miller. I'm mostly pointing because I'm disappointed in him more than anything. Okay, Russell Gage came up with 12 catches. I'll give him credit for that. He hung in there on the touchdown. He played. Besides the fumble, he was okay. I'll say the same thing about Perriman too, although I don't think he was really getting free in a lot of his plays. But Scotty Miller played more snaps than any receiver yesterday, and you come down with 1 catch, bullied, and you weren't even covered by Jair Alexander because he got hurt early in the game.
Right.
I'm so fed up with Scotty Miller today. I really am. And I went to bat for him. You went to bat for him and coming into the season.
Yep.
Get off my roster.
Yep.
You can't play.
Even there was one play where he ran to the outside and caught the ball in the back shoulder. But he was too close to the sideline. He got pushed out. That's a bad route.
It's a bad route.
It's a bad route.
And Greg Olsen said it on the telecast. He said that's just a bad route.
You got to give your quarterback a little bit of room because as small as you are, they're just going to push you out of bounds. Yeah. And another back shoulder, the corner made a good play, got his hand in there. It looked like Scotty was going to catch that ball. But look, that was a day when he should have been a primary guy. And it tells you everything you need to know if they're bringing in Cole Beasley off the street to do what Scotty Miller does. So. And by the way, I called that choice route, the first one where you got the first down. I literally called that in the press.
That was.
I was like, there he is, one-on-one choice route, and he went to the outside. Made a great touchdown or a great diving catch on that, and that was good. That was a great play. But the other one, big third down. Where third and 6,
backed up into your own
perfect ball, stay on your feet, get the first down. And there were so many critical plays like that. There were just mistakes that were made. Russell Gage falls down on an out pattern that would have been a first down, and Brady just throws it to the open area. I mean, there are so many of these things. On his 18-yard run, we get a holding call. And there was another play where Brate was chipping the outside tackle. And John Boy Walton sets way too far back and basically just gives a sack.
That play.
Oh my God!
That is one of the most horrendous offensive plays I've ever seen by an NFL offensive lineman. I said it yesterday. I'm not a savant of offensive line play.
Yeah,
I'm not. That's not what it's supposed to look like, though.
No,
I don't know what he was doing. He backed up into Brady with his hands like this. There's nobody in front of him. Why are you backing up into your quarterback?
Yeah, and when you're getting a chip, you want to set short and hit the guy as he's getting chipped. Like, Micah Parsons, you have a better chance of knocking him down in that situation. And by the time he gets around you after getting chipped, the ball should be out. But you can't just set back there and just let the guy run into and tackle your quarterback. It's not good. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here, and when we get back, Tyoka Jackson, former Buccaneer, is going to join us. We'll talk about this Bucs game. We'll hear from Tom Brady. We'll talk a little college football with Tyoka. He's doing an ESPN package for the MAC, and the non-Power 5 teams are really playing some good football this year. So we'll hit that as well. And his alma mater, Penn State, we'll have to talk about that. It's conformed by law. So we'll talk with Tyoka when we come back. Stay with us. Quick break. Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance company use Kelley Blue Book or NADA to appraise the value of your car? Chances are they didn't, and you got shorted maybe thousands of dollars. Call the Jeeves Law Group for a free case evaluation because your insurance company may still owe you money. 727-894-2929. It's a free call, so why not find out if you have a case? Insurance companies have been running this scam for a while, and most folks don't know if they've been shorted. Trust me. Scott Jeeves is a different kind of attorney, the kind insurance companies hate to go up against. He could recover thousands of dollars, so why not call? 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, No origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashland Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
Hey, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations at emerginginv.com. You've got issues with your spouse or maybe an employee that you need some PI work done, or insurance fraud, missing persons. These are all things that they do very well at Emerging Investigations. So if you have any issues like that, just call Rachel D'Antonio over there at Emerging Investigations. That's emerginginv.com is their website. Contact them through that. Send them an email. It's a free call. She'll walk you through the whole process. So you probably don't know how it works. We don't use PIs a lot, but if you need some important information on some very intimate life issues, these are the folks to call. Private investigation at its best. emerginginv.com is the website. All right, let's bring in our good friend Tyoka Jackson, former Buccaneer, former Penn State star as well, who joined us now doing college football for ESPN. What's up, Tyoka? How are you? Congratulations on the new gig. How you doing?
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man. How y'all doing?
Fantastic. It's another interesting week of Buccaneers football to talk about. They never leave us short on storylines. That's for sure. It's never boring when you got Tom Brady around.
It's the best. What do they call it?
Reality show.
Reality show. Yeah, going, man. NFL football, college football. It's the best, man. I'm in my kitchen cooking up storylines for the next game, man. So I'm getting ready for a new week. But that was a very interesting game yesterday, and certainly we saw a depleted Buccaneer team offensively, who were missing a lot of their playmakers. And you can look very average with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a good back without the skill position people to keep you honest. Although I thought some of the young guys stepped up and played pretty well, and the defense I thought was phenomenal. But
yes.
I just think this is not an aberration, but it's just one of those deals where if you're a Bucs fan, you got to sort of clear it because you're missing so many playmakers, which hampers an offense. And it just shows you how, football is a game of attrition. And you can have a great roster, but week in and week out, it's the health of your team that really is a huge determining factor on eventually how things are going to play out.
I made the point in the first segment. I don't know if you heard it, but when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, it's a huge blessing, but it can be a curse. If he doesn't have weapons to work with, he's not a guy that's moving out of the pocket like Aaron Rodgers and making plays and improvising, which was a lot of their offense yesterday. He is dependent on having guys that can get separation and get open and run precise routes, catch the ball, don't fall down when they catch the ball. I mean, and that's Godwin, that's Mike Evans. That's Julio Jones, right? These are guys that can, and Russell Gage is one of those guys, and you see how effective he was. But you got to have more help than right? Brady's not a guy that's gonna, put the team on his back in terms of doing everything. He can't do that at this age, right?
That's right. I mean, you got Scotty, and you got Cole Beasley. They can't be Scotty and Cole Beasley without those other dogs,
right.
Opening things up underneath. But now you're asking them to run number 1 and number 2 receiver routes against number 1 and 2 receiver corners, right? And Gage becomes a heck of a 3 or 4, right? When those other guys are on the field. So yes, to your point, that's a great point. And then also, I always feel like whenever you have a franchise quarterback, whatever their talent profile is, you have to have a roster that plays to that strength. Whether you got a dual threat guy, whether you got a guy who's a pocket passer, whether you got a guy who excels in the gun and the spread, you got your entire offensive roster has to mimic their strengths. And so the roster does, but the roster wasn't there yesterday.
Right,
and so to your point, and then you throw in the offensive line is not at its healthiest right now.
Exactly.
And so, so at this point, it looks really bad, but you just got to say, let's get people healthy. I think that a fully engaged, healthy Tampa Bay Buccaneers team wins that game, I think, pretty easily. If you just add one or two of the guys that were missing, I think you win a close game. So just take a deep breath, Bucs fans. Everything's going to be fine. Let's let the trainers be the MVP over the next 2 weeks to get these guys back on the field.
I think it's a great point you make. And I think when you have a loss like this, everybody wants to blame somebody. And it appears that Byron Leftwich is getting a huge part of the blame. And I'm like, dude, you go call plays with 4 inexperienced offensive linemen, top 4 receivers out, a quarterback that can't run and improvise and bootleg and RPO. I mean, good luck with what's left in the playbook, bro. I mean, what do you want the guy to do?
Yes, against an opponent that is fired up.
Right. That's
right. I mean, let's not forget that, the Buccaneers are going to be the biggest game on most of the teams they play their schedule. Right. Yeah. And so they're coming in, you're going to get their best. And so I know the storylines on television was, it was possibly the last time these two great quarterbacks see each other. I got a feeling it's not going to be the last time. Yeah. I think they'll see each other in the playoffs. And so there'll be opportunities for get back. But yes, as you mentioned, as an offensive or defensive coordinator, for that matter, you got a toolbox, and that toolbox is your roster, right? And when you are innovative and really sharp as a coordinator, you use those toolboxes or those tools in that toolbox to create the best matchups for your team, right? Because that's all you can do. You can't go out there and play, right? Byron's not playing. So all he can do is devise schemes and devise plays and create matchup opportunities that favor the Bucs. Well, the toolbox is really depleted. Go ahead and try to fix your car if you don't have an Allen wrench and you don't have, give me another tool, JP, because I don't know crap about tools. So you don't have a monkey wrench, right? You don't have, the needle nose pliers that you need. But the point is, there's a lot of things missing out of the toolbox. And so he's down to just a flathead screwdriver, man. And he's down to a couple nails and he's trying to make that thing fit. And it almost kind of did fit, but not quite, right? Because the other team had almost all of their tools in their toolbox. And so, but listen, you can't, there's no complaining. No one feels sorry for it. This is the big boy league, this NFL. This is what happens. And so there'll be times later on in this year where we'll play against a team whose starting quarterback is out and their left tackle's out. And no one's going to be complaining and worried about that. And we're going to have to dominate. So this is, Green Bay took care of their business. Good for them. Give them one clap. Again, let's let the trainers be the MVP for the next couple of weeks. Let's get these guys healthy, back in, and then some of these other guys who are gaining experience as backups, that will pay dividend down road.
That's a good point. Tyoka Jackson joining us here. Obviously, you played defensive line for the Buccaneers, and this defense yesterday I thought played extremely well. They gave up 2 touchdowns early, and there were a couple of third down plays, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. CD3 doesn't make a tackle on Randall Cobb on a corner blitz, which he should have been right up next to him. There was a couple of other third downs that got away from him because they didn't tackle before the line. These are uncharacteristic things. Now, they did get some good turnovers at the end and in some crucial situations, but I thought overall, I thought the defense played tremendously well. Your thoughts?
I did too. I think they're a very physical group. They have a lot of pride. And of all the best defenses I played on, they have a little bit of a nastiness to them and chippiness. And they get a little pissed off, and I like that. Watching Vita Vea turn and run to that ball after taking a hook to curl drop at 350-ish.
You ever do that?
Turning, huh?
Did you ever do that? Did you ever make that play?
Yes, I have. But again, I was 265, 270 doing it. Okay, and then as I got older, 280. This dude's got me by 80 pounds, but the way he turned and ran that ball and finished on the little guys, look, you can intimidate guys during the game with how you're playing, but the film can go down the road and intimidate offenses and intimidate skill position players. When you see 350 plus turn and run to the ball and hitting receivers over the middle, I guarantee you other receivers are going to see that. And whether they are conscious of it or subconsciously understand, I better get the ball and get down because I'm going to get hit. That's the sort of stuff you want to put on tape. But that was one of the most impressive plays I've seen all year. But that's just how the Bucs play. They play hard. They run to the ball. They have a certain standard that I love as a defensive player. Clearly, they care about it. They're not just out there stat chasing. They're trying to win every game. And so on the defensive end. And so when you have a defense like that, you're going to be in every game. Just like you talk about offenses who can score a lot, you can be in every game. When you have defenses that play the way ours does, you're going to be in every game. And so the offense just has to hold up their end of the bargain. Yeah, not to beat the dead horse. We're not healthy on that side of the ball right now. So it's going to be tight until we get fully healthy.
Tyoka Jackson joining us here, former Bucs defensive lineman. I
got to hydrate, JP. You know what? Get your hydration, bro.
I got to hydrate with my coffee. When you get a little bit older, hydration comes with a little bit of caffeine in it too.
A little bit.
Hey, so let's talk about the Logans. First of all, Logan Hall, I thought played really well in his snaps yesterday. The rookie second-round pick got a sack, and I've just made a couple other really, really nice plays. I like the way he's playing. Your thoughts on the rookie?
Well, I think he's playing well. He's learning on the job, man. I've been there, and I was not nearly as productive as early in my career. What's happening for him right now is the things that he learned in training camp, they're starting to slow down for him, and he's starting to see it differently now. It's sort of the process of going through training camp. You don't know what the heck's going on. You spend a lot of energy doing a lot of needless movements. And so what's happening now is the video in his head is starting to slow down. And so his body movements are starting to become more efficient. And so the athleticism that he has is starting to show up. When you don't quite know what you're doing and you're not quite sure on every single call, you're going to be hesitant. And then 4.7 becomes 4.85, right? Or if that 10, that get off is really quick, it's slower now because you're just unsure. So you start to see a guy who's starting to understand what's happening in front of him. And it's just going to get better and better and better. And so as long as he keeps the mental preparation intensity up, his production will continue to go up because he has a chance. And again, he's playing with a lot of really good players too, right? It's going to help him with opportunity. So he has a chance to be a very good football player. It's still early, but I like the way things are moving. What's number 9?
Tyoka. Yeah, JTS.
With a name like Tyoka, you would think I'd be able to say his name better, right? But man, I'm impressed with him. Right? Is he a second-year player?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I like him a lot. That's a guy who can rush the passer, who's starting to be better at the run game. I thought he struggled a little bit at times last year, setting the edge of the run at times, but with his length and size, that should be coming along. He's got that JPP type of build, right? But he's got that young athleticism. I think he has a chance to be a really special player on the edge. So the future of the defense looks pretty good. And, I love our secondary. And again, Vita Veda, man, is a monster on the inside.
He's a beast. Yeah. Joe Tryon. And I was interesting because we're back in the locker room now, so we could see these guys in their civilian clothes. And I went up to interview him yesterday. I was like, damn, the last time I saw Joe in civilian clothes, I think was at the draft maybe or whatever. He has put on at least 20 pounds of muscle. He's still lean, but he was noticeably bigger all around. Like, it's that man weight you get, right? From like 20, because he was drafted, I think, at like 20 years old. So now he's 22, almost pushing 23. And he's been in the Bucs training system and weightlifting system. He looks to me like he's put on a good 20, 25 pounds, and he hasn't lost any quickness. So I'm right there with you. He's starting to flash out there.
It's funny when people talk about the NFL, one of the most overlooked aspects is player development. People think of college programs as player development. No, but player development is important in the NFL as well. You think, like you said, some of these guys are coming in at 20, 21 years old. Yep. Think of yourself at 20, 21, right? You didn't have those big guns, JP, when you were 21 years old. I can tell you that right now, right? So, and so the player development is a huge part of every team's program. And so you can project guys at 20, 21 if they have the drive to work hard in the offseason, do the little things that it takes to take care of your body, get your rest. Young people don't understand the importance of rest generally when they come into the league, right? They get a little bit of cash, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of places, a lot of distractions in Tampa, right? And, as you get older, you start to learn to get that rest, man, and begin, and your body will reward you for that. And so I'm thinking that's some of the things that he's starting to learn along with the weight room. And it took me about 4 seasons to get my nutrition right. Yeah. Like seriously, like you would think, hey, playing football all your life, college and all that, as you get older, And as the schedule changes, you have to change not just what you eat, but when you eat it, right? And these are all things that are learning on the fly. You're learning from other veterans. You learn who not to emulate, and you learn who to emulate, right? These are all things that are going on that no one talks about that has to do with how guys become successful in the National Football League. And that's why you see guys come out of quote unquote nowhere. And that's how you see guys that like, man, he was a can't miss guy. Well, it's so many other things that go into being successful that you have to sort of master on the fly. And you got some veterans who are selfish. They don't want you to master it because it might take some of their time, right? So it's just a lot going on. And so what I think you're seeing in number 9 is a guy who's learning how to take care of his body, the importance of getting stronger. He's learning that, okay, if I can get stronger and not necessarily, put on a ton of weight, but good weight, functional weight, I'll be better on that point of attack. Then I can be an every down player. Then I can help this team win. And then my contract numbers go up. It all comes together,
You connected that well.
Yes.
One of these segments, I'm going to ask you, who are those guys you didn't want to follow? You don't even have to give names, but you can just give some of those traits are the ones you. I don't think I want
to try to get me in trouble the first time I come on the show, bro. Like you always come on, man. You're my neighbor, bro. Treat me with that neighborly love when I see you in the hall.
You didn't name names, just a couple of quick stuff. That's why it's me. We're just like football. We'll give them letters. All right, I want to ask you, I don't know if you saw this, but there's something a lot of people are talking about on the 2-point try. The 2-point try, it seems to be from the TV copy anyway. You hear the whistle blow for play, right?
Yes.
That's in your head. Everybody knows, okay, that's 25 seconds, because it's at the point after. It's not the regular 40-second clock where they spot it. It's automatic. It's at the referee's discretion. So you hear the whistle blow. And I clocked it on the TV copy. When you finally see the play clock on the TV copy, it's 5 to 6 seconds ahead of when the whistle blew. So something was off. But I'm thinking in Brady's head, he's calling the play in the huddle. He hears the whistle for play, so he says, I got to call the play now, right? Calls the play. They get up to the line. It's 12 instead of what should have been 17, 18 seconds. So then he goes to make, but I think he did lose track of the clock because he went to make a check with 2 seconds left.
That's what I think. Right? Yes, I think
you can't make a check to a run play with 2 seconds left.
That's exactly right.
That's on him, right?
Yes, that's shocking. Honestly, as often as he does it, I gotta believe. Well, I gotta believe he didn't take a peek, and that's the part that really shocks me. I mean, that guy in that position, he's been in it billions of times, right? Not just games. Practice, all of that. These are things that you drill over and over.
Super Bowls.
Yes.
Any of them.
Look, I'm a victim of his 2-minute prowess when he was a young guy in 2001, right, or 2002, the Super Bowl. Where he drove him down and kicked the field goal to beat us, man. And so he's a master at it. He can teach a master class at running the 2-minute drill. That was a little surprising that he didn't take a peek and speed that thing up. The last check sort of got him in trouble. And I thought, honestly, the play before that, I thought that the clock ran out and they got away with one. So, look, this is when you're as depleted as they were and you still had a chance like that, that shows the relative strength of the team. But, you don't want your franchise quarterback making the mistakes. But, look, it happens. It happens, and it's one game. This is a marathon. 17 games, this is one out of it. I think, look, at the end of the day, even guys that age learn. And sometimes you get reminded, and sometimes those reminders come in the form of an L to really, tighten the screws a little bit more. So, again, in the grand scheme of things, this is not a big deal. However, this is not basketball either. We don't play 82 games. This is not, baseball where you play 162 or whatever. Every game counts. So it's serious.
Yep.
But let's not panic. We're not, as long as you got that guy as your trigger man and you got healthy players around him, things are going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, who we're kidding? If the receiver position stays like this team has very little chance to do anything, but it's not. They've got 4 guys that are coming back. They'll be okay.
And I'll say this too. I'm a little concerned about the running back depth.
Yeah.
I
was surprised we didn't see Sneak Vaughn yesterday. I thought he was going to play and get some carries. I don't know why. They talk him up, like he's done everything well. In Byron Leftwich handed him a freaking gold medal this week at the press conference, saying how great this guy's done in the offseason. He's done everything right. He's improved on everything. He's done. I mean, I was like, well, why is he not playing?
Yeah.
Rashad White gave you nothing yesterday. I mean, I'm concerned about that, and I'm concerned about the offensive line.
Correct. I would say that, if you let's say the wide receivers get healthy, you get a nicked up running back room. If your starter, you get, and I'm not trying to put that energy out there. I'm just saying this is the time of year where you start to look back. When you get that third and fourth game, you start to look back and self-scout yourself and start to look internally. I think it would be well deserved for the Bucs to begin to get some of those young backs some experience and start to see what they do well. We don't have time to play around in games. You got to win every game, and I guarantee that's what that was about yesterday. You're trying to win the game. That's always number one. But there is a way to mix in young players to get them their confidence and get them on film so you can evaluate what they do well. Just in case, you have to do it. But that's what being in the NFL is all about. That's why they pay all these guys millions of dollars in the front office, in the coaching room, because they have to do these two things at the same time. We got to come up with a winning game plan, but we also got to figure out a way to get younger players, backup players, valuable experience, because come October, we may be leaning on a backup running back on 3rd and 5 to pick up a blitz. And yes, we've talked about it in the room all day and we walked through it, but we need to get him an opportunity to step up into the A gap and meet a Mike linebacker, because if and they're not doing it in practice. So if he hasn't done that in about 7 weeks, and then you're going to ask him to step up and hit that Mike linebacker in the mouth when it matters, it's just a different deal. So I like to see them start to really address, getting some playing time for these backs.
Tyoka Jackson joining us here, former Buccaneer, also doing college games for ESPN. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little college football, especially about your alma mater, Penn State. What's up? Big win at Auburn.
We are, baby. We are back.
And we're also going to talk about the non-Power 5 teams that you're doing, the Sun Belt, the MAC. These guys are giving people just ask Miami how that worked out for them this week.
Notre Dame and others.
Texas A&M.
Yes.
We'll talk some college football when we come back. Stay with us.
JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging INV and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Tyoka Jackson, former Buccaneers defensive lineman and Penn State superstar, joining us here. He's also doing college games for ESPN. Yes, Penn State, they beat up on Central Michigan, but they had the big win at Auburn as well. Are they in the title hunt here? How good is Penn State?
I'm cautiously optimistic. We still don't really know exactly how good they are. I know Auburn's not Alabama. I get it. But to go down there in that place, in that environment with their crowd and how important football is to them and their culture, and to win the way they did, and sort of beating up on Auburn, that speaks volumes. And they did it with a couple of young backs that are really super talented and terrific, and their offensive line. And that's the key. Penn State plays really good defense. I'd like to see their pass rush get a little more consistent, but they got a great secondary, and they're always going to have linebackers. And they've got a number 11, a young one now who's going to be in that line with all the other number 11s that we've had in the past, and we've had some historic ones. But so the linebacker group is good. I want to see our defensive line get a little bit more consistent with our pass rush, because I think we're going to have to stop the pass at some point down the road when it's going to be crucial. But the most important part of our success this year, Penn State, is our offensive line development and our quarterback, Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford's health. He's not the best player on the team, and he's not the best player in the conference, but he's probably the single most important guy on any contending team in the conference. We've got a great quarterback behind him. 5-star Drew Aller is going to be terrific, but he is a true freshman right now. He's the backup, and he's gotten some experience. Again, he looks really good. So the future's bright there. But Clifford is this 6th-year guy who is the unquestioned leader of the entire team. And, he is super important, and he's healthy now. And he's a pretty good dual threat guy when he's healthy. When he's unhealthy, he becomes very average. When that goes right back to the offensive line. Our offensive line last year was not very good at times, and this year we're playing better. So the offensive line has to give us the ability to run it, because we couldn't run it last year, and we've got dynamic backs now. Run it and protect Clifford. If they can do that, we can beat anybody. If they can't, we can lose to anybody. And so that's kind of where it's going to come down to, and that's not unlike the Buccaneers, right? With the offensive line, if the offensive line can be productive, we can run it and throw it. Well, we've got the greatest QB of all time, right? So, exactly. But again, it does come back to, even with all the innovation, man, right? You got the spread, and you got the RPOs, and you got all this stuff that football has become, which is a lot of fun to watch. The offensive and defensive lines, man, this still comes down to who can control the line of scrimmage and who can allow their team to be balanced and who can shut down the run and get after the passer without having to blitz. At the end of the day, it still comes back to that, and that's the same thing it was when we were playing, JP.
Of course, yeah. It's cliche, but it's cliche because it's right, and it's still part of the biggest part of the game. You do a lot of the non-Power 5 teams, and we had a historic day a couple weeks ago where 3 Sun Belt teams beat Notre Dame, Appalachian State. Who was the other one that got upset? I forget.
Nebraska,
and then Middle Tennessee State goes down to Miami, goes down to Hard Rock, and destroys the Canes.
Yes.
I mean, hello, what's going on with these? I've contended that coaching is so good across the board now because they have access to all the tape and all the, every coach has the most up-to-date methods and everything. A lot of these even these smaller schools, by comparison, have great facilities, great player development, great weight rooms, great nutrition, all that stuff. The coaching is good, and there's just so many talented players. And I just think that you got a lot of these smaller teams can compete with the big boys if everything goes right. What are your thoughts on what's happening?
And I would add also I agree with all of that. I would add also one important ingredient. It's called the transfer portal.
Yes.
The transfer portal, man, is real. And you can have a guy who's second team and fighting for his life on a very good roster, playing behind a future NFL player.
Right.
He will then leave and go somewhere else and become one of the best players in their conference. And then find himself in the National Football League because he's putting on tape. He's putting tape, right? So now you're empowering young players to say, I don't necessarily have to sit for 3 years. All right. My dream was to play at Florida State. And, they got a hell of a corner who's entrenched. I can now go to, let's say, Louisiana in Lafayette and dominate in the Sun Belt. I can go to Bowling Green and dominate the MAC and become one of the greatest corners in their history and then get drafted in the 4th round and still have the same opportunity that I wouldn't have had sitting behind a great corner for 3 years, if you get what I'm saying. So, I mean, there's a guy named Kalen Layburn who played at Florida State. He was a 5-star recruit, right?
Running back.
Hell of a back. He's now killing it for Marshall, right? He's in the top 3 in the nation in rushing, in the entire country. FBS, FCS doesn't matter, right? Right. So I'm watching him. We had him at Marshall the last 2 weeks. I'm like, this guy is an NFL back.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe he would have been playing at Florida State. I don't know. But then also, here's the other thing. It's not just sitting behind guys. He had some trouble. He got in some off the field stuff, right? And so you've heard of that, that reality show Last Chance U, right? Where you give a second chance. Well, this portal is sort of that second chance for a lot of guys. You screw up, as a lot of young people do. And thank goodness, Instagram and all that stuff went around when I was young, screwing up, right? So, right. And so, if anybody deserves a second chance, it's a young person, in their teens and early 20s, right? But you got to take advantage of it. And so what he's doing, he screwed up at Florida State, and now he's at Marshall, and he clearly he's taking advantage of his second opportunity, his last opportunity, and he's playing big time football. And he rushed for a career high of 163 yards against Notre Dame at Notre Dame, and beat the Irish in front of touchdown Jesus. And so so that's what's happening around the country. You're seeing guys use this transfer portal to upgrade rosters of non-traditional powers who are now stepping up and beating elite programs because they got legitimate big-time talent.
Do you think, though, with some of these upsets, it's almost another reason we need an expanded playoff? Because I'm looking at some of these teams that are pulling off this upsets. I'll just throw like James Madison out there, for example. This is their first year in FBS, right? And I know they're ineligible this year to do anything, I think, but they're 4-0, and they're looking to, run the table potentially over there in their conference. But if they finish 12-0, even if they were eligible, does it really even matter? Like, you know what I mean?
I do. And so what makes March Madness so compelling? I love football, but it's the upsets, right? Valparaiso beat, these who, right? We saw James Madison go all the way to, I think they made to the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least the Elite Eight. But James Madison beating, Kentucky, like
Duke.
Okay. So to your point, I mean, you look at JMU, they just beat App State, who beat Texas A&M and should have beaten North Carolina. App State was, ranked. And so, you just don't tell me what you think is going to happen. Don't give me, I think this team is ranked, whatever. So let the kids decide, just like they do in basketball. Now, look, there is something to this is not basketball in that there's a certain amount of games that need to be played to where it becomes detrimental to the players.
Right.
So I think as this thing expands, what should happen, I know what should happen. They should lessen the amount of regular season games. I don't think it's going to happen because of this, right? And so. Because exactly. So you go from playing 13, 14, 15 games. So I'm saying let's play 10 games and then let's get the postseason going. They won't do it because it's just too much money. And then that's where NIL and all of that stuff comes in. But back to your original point, yes, the playoff needs to be expanded because I don't want to hear what some quote unquote expert thinks would happen if JMU played, let's just say Ohio State. I want to see what happens.
See what happens, yeah.
And I've seen with my eyes too many times teams go in like App State and beat Texas A&M in Texas A&M. I just saw a few weeks ago Marshall go to Notre Dame, a top 10 Notre Dame team, and beat them on their hallowed ground. But the funny thing is, Marshall comes back and lose 2 straight. So, I mean, but anything can happen. That's the sport. Anything can happen on one given Saturday.
It's great stuff. We love the game. Tyoka, hey, man, it was so fun catching up with you. You want to do this every week? You want to do it every Monday?
You know what, man? I was thinking, we got time for that. But, I had a lot of fun, JP. I like talking ball, bro.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
We might have to do this again soon, bro.
Let's do it.
Yes.
You say when, we'll get you on. You did a great job, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Thank you both.
All right, Tyoka Jackson right there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Tom Brady. I asked him about the 2-point play and what happened on that particular play. I thought he was going to own it a little bit more than he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. You guys can decide. All I know is he stared me down and it made me uncomfortable. So we'll talk about that when we come back. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you did not get the total amount you think you were owed when your car was totaled and your insurance company shorted you, they do that all the time. Well, Jeeves can help you out. JeevesLawGroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. We're back in 3 minutes with Tom Brady. Stay with us.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. Military veterans, are you struggling with alcoholism or substance abuse? Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing, constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations, Emerging INV, Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency. Go to emerginginv.com for more information on those great folks over there. All right, so Greg Auman just tweeted out earlier. He said, Bucs fans here and on Reddit have pointed out that the play clock before Tampa Bay's initial 2-point conversion attempt was only 20 seconds, not the 25 listed in the NFL rule book. Only 20 seconds elapsed from the whistle to the clock hitting 0. That's exactly correct. I timed it myself this morning when I went back through it this morning. I was happy to see Greg has been talking about it as well. There's nothing they can do about it now, though. I mean, just to be sure, there's nothing they can do about that. But I do believe that, and this is, to kind of shade Brady a little bit, that he's got to look up at the clock before he makes the check at 2 seconds left. With a new neophyte center to make that check at that point, it's too late. It's too late. But I think, in his defense, he hears that whistle go off. And do we have the 2-point play? We probably don't have it backed up all the way to 25 seconds. But let's play the 2-point play, what we have, and then we'll kind of go from there. Well, this is the 2-point play. This isn't the delay of game, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that one here.
Yeah, all right. So I'll actually, you know what? We'll do that in our next segment, or if you can find it on the YouTube copy or whatever, and we can count it. We can do the countdown. We'll hear the whistle and then we'll count it down. Because this was, I noticed it when I was going through the tape. I was like, that seemed really, really quick. Like, when did they start the 25-second clock? It's very odd, especially on untimed down. And I'll put this up here from Jordan Gamillion, who joined us, said, if you're a professional football center to not snap the ball on time, well, he's got to, Brady's making a check. And to be honest, the center can't see the clock, guys. His head is down. He's got a helmet on. He can't see the clock for the most part unless he lifts up, and you can't do that at that particular time. He says on an untimed down, it's absolutely unacceptable. Yeah, but that's on the clock. That's on the quarterback. It's on the quarterback.
But here's the thing, I know everybody's focusing on the play. We're focusing on the play. In many ways, that's a microcosm, I guess, of why they lost the game. Was the errors.
Yes, absolutely.
But listen,
100%.
I typically don't like to zero in on what happened in 20 seconds out of the game, because there was 56 minutes and 14 seconds, 46 seconds, I believe, of football heading up to that point. You shouldn't have been in that point to begin with, in my opinion. I just don't think so. I know that's what happened, but
I would argue that again, this team is set up so that Brady you can be a 45-year-old quarterback if you have a bunch of elite weapons that you can throw to. If you don't have elite weapons, you can't use a 45-year-old quarterback. So it messes up the entire system of what you're trying to do, what your philosophy is, what your team identity is.
I get that.
So once that's erased, it's you're asking them to go out and score 17 points. 2 touchdowns.
I agree with Todd Bowles, though. They had, to me, that wasn't a talent issue yesterday in so many facets of that game.
I disagree.
The Packers had 14 points after the first 9 minutes, correct?
Correct.
They shut them out after that.
Yeah,
they shut them out. And in the second half of the game, and in parts of this, in the second quarter too, it's like the Packers were just begging the Bucs to do something. They were begging the Bucs to do something. They took themselves out of that game just as much as the Bucs defense took them out of that game, my opinion. They gave the Bucs so many golden opportunities where the defense kept getting so many big stops, 3-and-outs, the punts, all that stuff. The Packers' offense was as anemic as the Bucs was in the second half, but the Bucs were actually moving the ball at points in that second half where they
And so
started
what-
doing tempo.
So how
But
did
then
they
it was
break
always
down?
turnovers. It was always the
Turnovers?
turnovers that killed them.
Penalties?
And penalties. And I know
Dumb plays?
dumb plays and dumb.
Stay on your feet?
And I don't care what you say. Dumb play calling, because this is where I go to Byron Leftwich.
Okay.
You finally get a big play with Jalen Darden. Finally.
Oh, the trick call. Yeah, it's awful.
That's horrendous, bro.
Awful. It was awful.
You haven't done jack squat on offense. I know you feel like you got to maybe get something going and you want to take a shot there. Okay, whatever. But you just got a 25-yard play. There's positivity. We're moving tempo. And you don't want to do not just one flip, not just two flips. You want to do three flips. And the third one, the one that matters the most, has to go to Scotty Miller, of all people, who can't catch anything right now. It's just that's an all-time bad play call in that moment, and you just killed the drive.
I heard everybody saying it's so boring, it's not creative. Well, he tried to get creative for you.
Okay, I didn't ask for three pitches. I don't know who asked for that in that moment. Like you can't pull off a normal hitch route, a dig route, nothing,
But
and you're going to pull off that.
Their safeties were cheating up big time because they knew that Brady had to get the ball out of his hand. So they saw an opportunity to run that play, and it probably would have been a touchdown had they completed it.
Oh, that's cool. It didn't happen.
So yeah, but that's bad execution. That's not bad play calling. I mean, I just can't, they finally try a trick play, try to put some creativity into it finally, and it didn't work. It seemed ill-timed. You had your first big completion. So yeah, I agree with you.
But it's part of it too. It's like, to me, the way the Bucs offense ended the game when they were in that kind of hurry up situation and Brady's calling plays at the line at least.
I think they should have gone more up tempo. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. We already went down this road in 2020. Yeah. I listened to LaShawn McCoy, by the way. This is a good point to bring up. He was on the Herd on Friday. LaShawn McCoy was. Remember, he was on that 2020 team.
Yep.
And he was asked about the difference in the Bucs offense that year going into the bye week, post-bye week. And he said that Tom Brady, for as good as he is too humble sometimes because he knew that some of the play calling wasn't working, but he's always just like, whatever you want, coach. Yep. And after the bye week, he took that thing over, and look what happened. Yep. I feel like we need that moment here. Because when Brady started doing more of his checks at the line and we were doing tempo,
motion,
the Bucs were moving the ball.
A lot more motion, pre-snap motion.
I need that to happen here. Yeah. That's nothing against Byron Leftwich. It's Tom Brady. He knows what he's doing. This is how he feels comfortable moving the offense, and it was working. I feel like we need that moment to come now. Please don't wait till we get any more deeper into the season because you got a huge opponent coming in this weekend, weather forbidding, obviously.
Yep.
And you can't afford to have offense like that again.
I agree. All right. So what do we have queued up? Do we have just the Brady response to my question? We can go with that. We'll do the play-by-play later on. Yeah. So I asked Brady as soon as he came in about the 2-point, and you'll notice he doesn't give me much, and then I had to press him a little bit on it. And by the way, he's smiling, and
it was an odd temperament from him yesterday.
He's smiling. He's not about, but he's looking at me like he's staring a hole right through me. I wasn't comfortable. I'm kidding, but it is. I will tell you this: it's very different to talk to Tom Brady like that. It just is. He's the GOAT.
Take us through the 2-point play there. What happened and got to delay game? Did you check to a run there? What happened?
Yeah, I just looked up and we had just a bad execution. It's really what it is.
Nothing more. Did you try to check to a run at that point?
Yeah, it's just there's a lot to it. So bad execution on offense at a time where we needed good execution and we didn't get it. And there was a lot of other times we had a lot of other bad execution. And I think the reality is when you do that, you don't have the opportunity to score points. So there was too many plays where we were behind the sticks and not good on third down, and penalties, turnovers, missed opportunities. And, defense played great. We got to play better on offense. We got to do a lot better job. We haven't scored many points all season. So 3 games, we got to get a lot better.
All right. So execution. Look, and I know that Russell Gage, I guess, wasn't on the field and then went back off the field because he got a little nicked on the catch. He got hit pretty good. That was a hell of a catch, by the way. Brady he had to throw it on the back shoulder because the safety where linebacker was coming over, so he had to throw it on the back shoulder. And honestly, Gage probably should have pulled up in that little hole there.
The touchdown, right?
Yeah, touchdown. Yeah, and he threw it on the back, and he made a great catch.
I tell you what,
tremendous
that
catch.
play on the TV copy, you have to see it from like Brady's angle. the window
Yeah.
there, I mean, it opens up like this and it's out.
Yeah.
And I bring that up. That makes Brady so special because earlier in the day, there was the Bills and Dolphins game. I don't know if you saw the end of that game or the play at the end where Josh Allen underthrew that ball that would have scored.
Yeah.
On that moment, the guy cuts, the ball's got to be out.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen falls two back on bad mechanics. I can get it there. He can't get it there.
Yeah, it looked like his plant foot slipped a little bit.
Yeah, I immediately thought of that play because I heard somebody break that down right before the Bucs game. And I'm like, look at this. This is Brady right there. It's the same thing. That ball has to be out in that split second. And it just makes him great.
And that's the part about, the red zone where they're having so many issues right now. It's nuance. It's talent, it's timing, it's detail in the red zone. I mean, you're going to have just a small window to throw the ball into, and that receiver has to be on that same plane, know exactly where you're throwing the ball. You have to have done it 10,000 times. That's why he and Gronk are the best to ever do it in the red zone. And missing him in the red zone is effing huge.
Hey, by the way, Gronk was in the building yesterday. What the hell are you doing? I tweeted, I'm like, please, Gronk.
Come on,
you can't watch that and tell me you don't want to be out there right now.
It's got to be killing him. I know it's killing Brady.
And I can't wait till the bye week 11. No. This needs to be accelerated a little bit.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, so I'll just say that right now. But as I walked by where the players leave, I saw Brady, fairly certain it was him, talking to someone looked a lot like Gronk after the game. I'm not 100% certain because whatever car he has now, this Brady thing, it's got this bank of lights in front instead of like two lights or four headlights. It's got this bank of lights.
So you can't see in.
So I can't I can only see some shadows, but it looked like Brady's 6'5". It looked like another dude that was just as tall as him and he was jacked. So it looked like Gronk, and they were, but of course he was at that game.
He could have just been showing him the catalog for the month of October.
Yeah,
they need him
tell him to take his pants off so you could see him in his underwear. Yeah, could have been that conversation. But giving back to Brady's answer, I just, I would have liked to see him own that a little bit. I didn't see the clock. I didn't look up at time.
Well, we don't know what the problem
like he didn't own the fourth down thing a few years ago when he was putting up his fingers.
Well,
at the time, can he not?
We don't know though if it's I think it's his fault. You think it's his fault.
Well, it's obviously
said his fault. But I listened to other players yesterday and today who have said that immediately when something like that happens, their instinct goes to the OC and goes to Byron Leftwich for not getting the play in quick enough or something like that. When you watch the tape, you clearly see Brady making a check at the line with like 2 seconds left, and he's just way too late. So. It's probably a combination of both, but whatever.
They barely got off the play beforehand.
Yeah, but whatever.
Touchdown play.
And what's frustrating about it is Greg Olsen said on the telecast, they had the right look.
Yeah.
He's walking into the end zone
yes, he is.
on that play. They had the right
Tristan
look.
Wirfs and Shaq Mason are caving the defense down. Fournette's going to hug up on him, and he's going to score. Yes, but again, Brady could have also known at that moment that they shorted him 5 seconds.
Because maybe that's why he told you, there's a lot that goes into it.
There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, absolutely. So maybe that's why he didn't want to own it. And I would agree with him.
Did you hear Rodgers after the game?
Yeah, I did. I heard.
Very interesting. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Which one?
When he was talking to, I think, Aaron Andrews after the game or Rinaldi, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, sometimes the Jumbotron, he starts smiling and he's like, sometimes the Jumbotron shows things that it probably shouldn't. And I saw something there that I thought was useful to our team, and I made sure I told them. And there was no ever follow-up on that or anything. I'm sure McAfee's going to press him on it tomorrow, but he was talking about that late in the game.
He saw something on the Jumbotron?
Yeah. You didn't hear the sound?
No, I did not. I was at the game doing the press conference, so I wasn't watching it on TV.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that sound real quick because it was going around last. Here it is. See if we can listen to it here.
Mr. Cryptic.
So you come all the way down and talk to Matt LaFleur during that final drive with the defense on. What was going through you during the 2-point conversion, especially after you saw the fact that they took the 5-yard penalty?
Well, they should have on the previous play, too. It was a delay on both plays. But sometimes you see things in the game. Sometimes the Jumbotron shows things they probably shouldn't show, even at home. I saw something and just passed on the information.
Well, what are they talking about?
Nobody knows, but he gave you a little smirk there and
the Jumbotron.
And of course everybody said the Jumbotron was probably fired today. But who knows
what were
it
they
is.
showing? I'm trying to remember what they were showing.
I don't know. But
Hmm.
this has been going around here. What does Aaron know?
I don't know. We need to find it. Inquiring minds want to know.
I have a feeling again. McAfee will ask him tomorrow.
All right, so back to Brady, and maybe that's what he was talking about. But we're going to take a break. We're going to queue up the audio from the actual game, and we'll play that for you, and we'll count it down for you in terms of when the whistle blows, and when the ball is snapped, and when the clock runs out. So we'll do that for you. But there's a lot going on there. And is it just as much as you looking up and seeing 3 on the play clock or 2 on the play clock and thinking you can get a play change that quickly?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I don't know. And I just think the other thing to it, it's like, of course, I want to see what happens, but it just seems right now, and at least yesterday, even down there at that moment, I feel like the Bucs had such a hard time getting it in there to begin with. Like they were struggling.
Of course, because of the freaking.
It's like, I don't know. I know that they had the right look they wanted, but even then, when they back up to 7, okay, you have more room to play with a little bit. But I don't buy into that as much. You can't run the football. But I wasn't crazy about the play call from the 7-yard line. 3 guys lined, all the receivers were lined up to one side of the field, and Brady's rolling out. It is what it is.
Well, he didn't roll. He was pushed.
He was pushed out of there, basically.
They're not calling any rollouts for Tom Brady.
No, but
I would have liked to seen a better play there. But again, it's
it's going to
from
Scotty
the
too,
7, and you got the back of the end zone. It's very compressed.
But then again, it's like I just said, man, and also the ball was going to Scotty. But again, I'm thinking about it here. I mean, who the hell am I throwing? Because I mean, you don't have any big bodies to get in there.
To me, I make the same play call every time on that. 3 receivers to the right, tight end on the right, delays, sneaks out under to the left. The old tight end throwback. It works every time.
Well, hold up. Then they try it.
Every time.
They tried that 2 plays before they got it in to Brait, if you recall. And they snuffed it out.
Well, no, that wasn't a throwback. That was just an out route. That was just a straight out route.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
You're right. Which he would have been open on for a touchdown. But the guy grabbed him, and that's why he grabbed him. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll queue up that play for you. And we'll have the rest of Tom Brady's sound, which I thought was very interesting. We'll also hear from some of the players and Coach Bowles as well. Lots more to get to here in this Bucs 14-12 loss to the Packers. Stay with us. Quick break.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com, and by BAMMC, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo and his medical team over there are running a special now on their weight loss programs, which are all personalized just for you. They'll get your blood work done, see what you metabolize well in terms of supplements and food, and draw up something that will work directly for you. He's big into fasting, is because it works, folks, big time. So these are life changes that he will help you make, and it's easier than you think it is. Trust me, once you get the great direction, Chris talked about this when we brought him on a couple of weeks ago, and it's not as hard as you think. So you will lose weight and you will keep it off, not like some of these fad diets out there. So go to BAMMC.com and check it out. And if you're looking for new primary care, they'll do that as well. Very, very innovative over there at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. They would do things that your other doctors probably wouldn't think of doing and are so old and tired and into Western medicine and just write a script and get you out the door. That's what medicine has become, right? So if you're looking for something more, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Chris Lugo. All right, so here's the TV copy, and I want to listen. If you got your little timer out, which I'm going to get my timer out again, and my little stopwatch here. When you hear the whistle for play when they're in the huddle, just start your watch. So here it is. Let's pop that up, and here we go.
This is the game. 14 seconds left. Need the 2 to tie.
He's in the huddle.
It looks like we have a moment. Mike, that's the key, right? By the time the official looks up, even though it hits 0 to get that beat, usually. Is that fair?
That's exactly right. There is that up to like 1 second, maximum of 1 second. Theory being that the back judge has to look at the play clock.
Signal for play right
once
there.
he sees it hit 0,
They're in
then
the huddle.
look to
He's
the
calling
ball.
the play.
So that's an inherent delay.
When they hear
and that falls well within what just happened.
Whistle, they know they have
legal
25
play.
seconds.
Here it
now
is.
The clock
Game on
is
the
down
line.
to what? 7.
Need the 2.
Okay, so
Play clock is down, and that time they don't get it off.
see, even the announcers were surprised because everybody's going with the rhythm of the whistle. So when you go back and look at the all 22 and Bowles, I'm sure we'll be asked about this today, and he'll have to explain it. But when you back it up, it's definitely they shorted them 5 seconds.
Yeah, I wanted to play it real quick from this one point when they blow the whistle real quick.
Okay.
Because I think I caught something here. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
So
0, then look to the ball. So that's an inherent delay, and that falls well within what just happened.
So,
all right.
I didn't get it right to where they blew the whistle, but I could still tell. So the whistle had just blown when they got to the huddle. They, on the game clock here on the TV broadcast, okay, which is lined up with what's going on in the field, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come down. It doesn't show until it gets to 10.
Right.
And I did a little counting when we first heard it. There was no way that was 15 seconds.
No way.
And then all of a sudden it was down to 10.
I timed it.
So even
it's
like
5 seconds short.
Even without timing it, just eyeballing it here and looking at that little thing popping up, that was not 15 seconds.
Yeah, see if you can cue it up again. And this is because this is critical because in Brady's head, he knows, okay, he hears the whistle for play, doesn't have to look over, and he knows, okay, I call the play. It takes me 5 to 7 seconds to call the play. When I get out of the huddle, it should be 17 seconds, and it's down to 12.
Yeah, so let's do that again. When you hear the whistle, do the timer, and then I will pause it right when I see the clock actually show up.
Okay.
And we'll see what it's at.
All right, we'll do this again. And you can hear the
usually.
whistle.
Is that fair?
That's exactly right. There is that up to like 1 second, maximum of 1 second. Theory being that the back judge has to look
There
at
it
the
is.
play
There's the
clock.
play clock.
Then once he
Brady's
sees it hit
already
0,
calling the play.
then look to the ball. So that's an inherent
breaking the huddle
delay,
at what should
and
be
that falls
about
well
17
within what.
seconds.
All right. Now is come up on the screen, and it's at 11.
Yeah. It's a 5.5 second difference. 5.5 second difference. So I don't even know if Brady should look up at the clock when he breaks, but he already knows. He's done this so many times. He has a play clock in his head.
Yeah.
And he knows when he has time to check. And this is without question. They started that play. You know what's really upsetting about this? This is at home. This is your home stadium.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And now that could have been now folks, that could have been another whistle. Let's back it up a little bit more than you did. Back it up and see if there's another whistle that happens before it. I didn't hear one. They were talking about the previous play, but there still was ambient sound from the field that we should have seen.
Yeah, I just backed it up here a little bit further. Let's see if we hear a whistle.
Maybe there's another whistle to play, and that was a secondary whistle. But even a secondary whistle means you're resetting the play clock, which they do all the time, by the way. They do all the time.
Time the official looks up, even though it hits 0 to get that beat usually. Is that fair?
That's exactly right. There is that up to like 1 second, maximum of 1 second. Theory being that the back judge has to look at the play
that's
clock.
The clear whistle for play.
Yeah.
That's the clear whistle for play. And go back to see if I don't think you can see the clock in the background on that secondary because they're using the sky cam looking down on the huddle. But you will be able to see it in the all 22 when the all 22 comes out. It may already be out, but now you can't see it. You can't see the play clock anywhere. So yeah, there's no question they got shorted, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal because again, Brady has that thing in his head, and you should never, folks. You should, and they're not really trying to put. Like I said, after a touchdown like that, there's no set time for when they're going to set the ball for play. For these tries, they let the team celebrate. They do all kinds of stuff. And then when the teams come back on the field and everybody's gathered, they're like, okay, it looks like everybody's ready. 25 seconds, let's run to play. All the substitutions have been made. So it's a little bit more loosey-goosey. It's up to the head official to play it, to blow the play dead or to start the play.
Yeah, Jordan just said something here on a comment we get up here. Someone responded to Greg's tweet with an explanation. Following a touchdown, the 40-sec clock runs as soon as the touchdown signal is dropped. If replay has not confirmed the score, the play clock will hold at 20 and resume on the ready for play.
At 20?
Teams well aware of this mechanic and has been in place for a few years.
At 20?
So he said this is a comment to Greg's tweet. So I'm trying to go through it here and see if it's somebody.
Okay. All right.
Because this could just be a fan or who knows, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, so if that's the case, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a play clock at 20. I've never heard of a play clock at 20. This could be a rule, but I've never heard of a play clock at 20. Why would they even have that when it's normally 25? And if teams are well aware of it, that's fine. They had plenty of time to get the playoff. But if the teams are well aware of it, then it's a moot point. It's a moot point. And again, it goes to Brady.
Oh, it's from on Twitter, Football Zebras.
Okay.
And they're a verified account.
Okay.
With 30,000 followers, and it says thoughtful analysis and commentary about NFL officials and the calls they make.
All right.
Ben Ostro.
Okay.
I think is his name.
Looks pretty legit.
It looks pretty legit to me, and that's what he has
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it, but
I don't, I'm not that rule specific, but I've never heard of it. In the 40 years I've been covering this league, I've never heard of it. So, yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Because it would match up with the 20. It definitely would match up with 20. It was right on 20. And again,
25-second play clock does not apply after a touchdown.
Okay.
I'd never had heard of that.
No. But they give you plenty of time to get set up. It shouldn't be an issue.
Well, if that's what it is, though, then we point our blame back to Brady.
Yes.
For not being more aware of what's going on.
100%.
To Leftwich for not getting whatever it is. I don't know. It's probably both of them there. It's just something you shouldn't see from a quarterback who's been doing this long. It's just bottom line. This is rookie stuff.
It is rookie stuff. So let's ask the question. Let's ask the question that nobody wants to ask, that nobody's going to ask. Is this all this offense on Brady?
Oh, come on.
Is this? Look, we're not asking for 30 points. 17 would have done the trick. We're not asking for 30 points. And if you look at this game, how many of these things were Brady's fault? Not much. Not much.
I felt, I mean, he opened the game with 12 straight completions. He finished 30 for 40, 270, whatever. I truly feel like he played as well as you could under those circumstances. You just need help from those around you.
Yeah.
Bottom line, it's just not there right now.
You're nitpicking, but again,
and again, if you don't convert a single third down in a game, sorry, you ain't doing anything. I think they were 0-4 on third down.
Well, and that's that's play calling as well too. That's a lot of play calling. That third down money, and you got to be better on third down. Let's hear the rest of Brady. Can we cue up the rest of Brady, and we'll stop it down and take.
Real quick, the Bucs were 2 for 11 on third down.
That's awful.
There you go.
That's awful. And a lot of that, and again, third down and red zone. There's a lot of the nuanced stuff where guys got to run the right patterns. The timing has to be perfect. The call has to be good. And again, you're not going to get a super imaginative offense with a quarterback that can't move. So much of what the Packers do is based on Rodgers' ability to throw on the run, RPO, the quick release, the quick slants, and that's something that he's really, really good at. That's why he's a 3-time MVP. Or is it 4? Is it 3? Anyway, and that's the difference. Brady's not going to give you that. Brady has to have weapons to be great because his arm is still good.
He never had the greatest set of weapons in New England all those years, and he made it work then. But
you got to have weapons.
Everybody needs weapons, though.
Yeah, but this guy especially because he can't make any plays with his feet.
I mean, was Rodgers making any plays with his feet?
Yes,
yesterday?
He was. Yeah, of course he was. He's moving around. He's bootlegging. The whole offense is based on his mobility. Absolutely, he is. Have you seen the Bucs run a bootleg? Have you seen the Bucs run an RPO?
No, but what's curious is I was watching the NFL matchup show, which you love. I was watching it, and one of them on there, it might have been Dan was on, and he said that he would do Tom Brady in the RPO in this game. That's what he said. And he said, I know what you're thinking. This is crazy, but he went in a whole soliloquy about it. So maybe they should have gone RPO.
Well, I mean, they could do a little bit of that. They do a little bit of it with Fournette, but not to the level of Rodgers and what he's able to do.
True.
On bootlegs. So much of his stuff is bootleg action. It's just different. Brady has to have receivers who can get separation so he can hit them. That's all there is to it. All right, here's the rest of Brady.
Said that yes, it is concerning the fact that you guys haven't been able to find the end zone. I know you've been without a lot of weapons. How concerning is it for you?
Our job's to go out there and score points, so we're just not doing it. But you're not going to score points if we don't execute well. So they did a better job than us. Yeah, they have good defense, good physical defense. I give them a lot of credit. They forced us to make a lot of good plays, and we just didn't do a great job in execution.
We're just going to Russell Gage in that final drive. Kind of look like the same chemistry you guys had during training camp.
Yeah, he did a great job. He really battled through it. And, we had a lot of guys down, but those guys who were in there and some hot weather did a great job, especially, last drive. So it was a lot of good plays guys were making.
I know you don't want to make any excuses, but did the finger impact you at all today?
No, 0. Yeah, 0.
How concerned are you? I mean, 3 games, 3 offensive touchdowns. That's just not anything you've been a part of here.
Yeah, we just got to do a better job. I wish it was one thing. We're just, we haven't had a lot of, we're not running as good as we're capable. We're not, in the pass game, it hasn't been very good. So our screen game,
From what you see
a lot
in
of
practice,
things, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. From
Yep.
what you see in practice, you think this can get turned around? Do you see? I mean, is it there?
Yeah, we'll keep working at it for sure. Yeah, keep working at it.
Coach Bowles mentioned that Julio could come back and rejoin you guys against the Chiefs. You could get Godwin. How much of a spark would it be just to get some of the regulars back, if you will?
I think you'd always, rather play with with the guys that are, your top players on your team, but they're not, they're not playing with a lot of their top guys either. So the guys went in there, they fought hard. We just too many mistakes. Even if, I don't know, it looked to me we had a chance to make a lot of plays and we didn't. Doesn't matter really. The guys that were in there, some of the guys did a great job with their opportunities, and we just got to keep doing it. So we're 2-1. There's a lot of football left. We'll keep working at it, and doesn't get any easier next week going up against Chiefs. But no one feels sorry for us, nor should we. We just got to go back to work.
How frustrating is the ball security stuff, right? Like, you guys had opportunities, and you guys, missed those opportunities, like the reverse and the fumbles. Just how frustrating is it when that?
Yeah, too loose of the ball, and again, that's important for all of us. We talk about ball security. We got to keep doing a good job in the pass game. Ball security, it means protection. That means me making good reads and good throws, them securing the ball when they catch it. When the guys who touch it, we all got to do a great job of it. And you're right. We haven't done a great job of it. We got our defense done a great job getting the ball for us and field position, and you hold the team to 14 points. That's a great defensive effort, especially against a great team like that. So just got to go back to work.
One of those guys that was a new addition to the team this week, Cole Beasley, had 3 catches today. What did you see out of Cole Beasley today?
Yeah, he did a good job for us, on a short week. So just have to keep improving,
Talk to him, what did you see?
18-yard run. They got wiped out. It's kind of a picture of what happened today.
Yep.
Great play. They got,
Yep.
pulled back. But what did it feel like? What did you see on that run?
I saw a lot of open green grass and no Packers, and I could turn a 40-yard gain into 18 better than anyone in the NFL. So unfortunately, I slid. I broke my knee brace, and I had to get on the side. But if I'm running it, it's usually a good thing. So I'll give it to the guys who can run with it.
Yeah. It's funny watching him run. He's so slow.
It was electric, in my opinion. I stood up. I stood up, and then they had to bring me down that it was a penalty, of course. And I saw the replay, and I'm like, oh, now I know why he's running.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Walton was
tackling somebody.
He was pretty close to pulling out the bionic elbow there.
Yes, he was. I think you just hear a very frustrated Brady right there. He knows that once he gets his weapons back, this will be a completely different offense. That's all there is to it. You want to make more of it than it is. Is it horrible play calling? Is it, again, with all the guys that are out, go at it. Let's see what you can do calling plays when you don't know what kind of protection you're going to get. The guys that you're counting on in certain plays to get open can't get open. It's tough. It's tough. You don't have a running quarterback. There's not a lot that you can do with motion. Although, look, I would have liked to seen some jet sweeps and those counter trays that they were running against Dallas. A little bit more, some imagination in the running game. We didn't see one jet sweep. Scotty Miller runs that play really well. It's one thing he can do.
Can he?
Yeah, he's done it. He's had great success with the jet sweep. So, they tried a trick play. It didn't work.
I'll tell you what, though. I know what the narrative today is going to be, but if there's anything I'll say, the Bucs were not the only ones yesterday who just didn't show up offensively.
Right.
Did you watch any of the absolutely just dreadful game last night? I don't blame you if you did.
Oh, my God, it was awful.
That game set offense back about 30, 40 years. The Chiefs' offense is not clicking right now. The Colts' offense is not clicking. The Chargers are not clicking. The Saints are not clicking. I could keep going on. The Packers aren't exactly letting the world on fire. I could keep going on and on and on of these high-powered offenses that are just not clicking to start the season. I think that's part of it, too, here. We always hear all the time that defenses have the upper hand going in. I feel like that's more so this year. They're almost fighting back a little bit because there's a lot of really good offenses that are slow.
I think it's injuries.
And injuries go into that around that too.
And preseason because the guys don't play when they start playing.
Yeah,
they get injured.
I think there's something to that.
A lot of these hamstring injuries.
How many times
because
was
guys
Brady,
don't do shit?
Yeah, how many times was Brady throwing to these cats during training camp?
None. Like I said, you look up and it's Kalen Geiger, Jalen Darden, and a hamstringed Russell Gage. That's not Godwin, Julio, and Mike Evans. And let's put it out there, Mike. If Mike Evans plays in this game, I think the Bucs win.
He's
got to own that.
You know where I will.
Brady's got to own that. The whole team has to own that. Bruce Arians has to own it.
I will say though, it's only one game sample size, so it's hard to go off of. But the offense wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire against Dallas when they had their full weapons in there, and against New Orleans, where you were missing Godwin and Julio. Yes, but Mike was out there. Mike was out there.
Yeah.
How many points did they have with up to 6 points?
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's been bad.
I love Mike Evans. I just don't know if he's the difference there.
And listen, we can say what we want, but Brady has not been Brady. Brady's not been as good. And whether it's the lack of practice time.
I think he had 10 touchdowns last year at this point.
Yeah.
And he's got, 3?
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. But it'll be way better when they come back. Hey, a programming note. Tracy West is going to join us, tournament director at the Valspar at 11:45, and she's going to announce the Saturday night country group for the concert. We are breaking news right here. We're going to have it for you.
Well, hopefully it's
and
better
and the preliminary word is you're going to love it.
I hope so. I hope I love it more than the Super Bowl halftime show announcement,
which is
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Again, it's not for me.
Didn't she already do it? Or was
she
part
turned
of
it down
She
3
turned
years
it down.
ago?
Okay,
but we went from Taylor Swift, who I'm not crazy about anyway, but I understand she's huge.
She's huge,
but
and she's amazing.
I looked it up yesterday. Apparently,
Love you, Tay-Tay.
Rihanna's like the second highest selling female artist of all time, which shocked me a little bit.
Really?
And I looked it up. She hasn't released any music in 6 years. And
Yeah,
because
I
I
was gonna
thought
say,
about it, I
where's
was
she
like, I haven't heard music from her in a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to go after a younger demographic. I get all that. It ain't for me.
Aren't
even
there
though I'm
younger country fans?
I don't know. I
guess Taylor Swift.
When I
is
think
good,
of
but
things
she's
to
more
get me,
pop
when
than
I think of
country.
things to get me going in an NFL game, I just don't think of Rihanna.
But Luke Combs
or Garth Brooks should do it by now. If
Garth
anybody,
hasn't done it?
Garth has never done it.
Garth's never done the Super Bowl?
No, and he's the biggest entertainer, one of the biggest entertainers on the face of the planet, regardless of genre. He's never done it.
Wow. Well, I don't think it'll be Garth for the Saturday night, but you never know. You never know. But we'll have that announcement coming at 11:45. All right. Do we need a quick break? Yeah.
We don't have to go to a break now. We have a few more minutes before we get to Tracy, and we could take a break. But I don't know if you wanted to get into a little bit of college football.
Yes, I do want to get into college football.
Because I don't know how much time we'll have left after. So
what happened on the opening kickoff at Florida State Boston College? Do you know? Because I was emceeing, by the way. Huge thanks to New Life Village Foster Care in Tampa. We did a big fundraiser, Vegas casino night, Elvis night at TPEP the other night. Raised a lot of money, so a lot of thanks to them for having me MC that. That was so much fun. We did an Elvis contest. It was great fun. So thanks to those folks.
Well,
over
if you
there.
missed the opening kickoff,
So they had it on a screen, and I looked
Yeah.
up, and then I saw.
Let me catch you up here.
Well, let's see what happened on this opening kickoff. Speaking of the transfer
College
portal,
won the toss,
Right.
deferred. and
Oh, you
Florida
deferred,
State
huh? How's that
Receives
working
the
out
opening
for you?
kickoff. It's Trey Benson. Crosses over the 20 with a seam past the 40.
Listen to that
and
crowd.
Trey Benson is into the open field inside the 20 with a
Stiff
stiff
arm.
arm. And how's that for a start for the Noles?
Housed, baby.
I got chills. Right
80,000.
Did you hear the thunder on
First full sellout since 2015.
Unbelievable.
80,000. Doak was rocking.
My goodness. And boy, did they.
By the way, I need 4 tickets for Saturday's weight game. I need 4.
if they play it. If they play it.
Oh, hopefully.
I don't know. Because
Hurricane.
probably have to provide an update on that later, too.
Yeah, Hurricane looks like it's at the 11 o'clock update. It's jogged a little to the east. So that means more bad news for us. So, but probably category 2.
Well, and it
a lot
says
of
4 right
storm
now.
We'll see. I'm not going to be part of the hype machine. Just
Well,
everybody pay attention.
Well, I live.
You know what to
I
do.
live on the water, so I will always take. I live on the water on that side, in
live on
Apollo
the water?
Beach. On Apollo Beach.
Well, you're not near the water.
I am very close to the water.
How close to the water?
I am about a couple minutes away from the water.
How many miles?
Probably 2.
2 miles? That's not on the water.
It's
You're
if I say I live on the, come on, it's close enough.
Storm surge.
It's close enough.
Storm surge, yeah. What's your flood level? Are you A, B, C, D? Do you know? Yeah, it's a big deal. Listen, this could be a bad one, but I'm not going to freak people. I'm not going to freak people out. We really need to pay attention to what's going to happen. So yeah, I think if you actually live on the water,
You actually live on the water.
You need to start making
you need to
preparations.
get out, probably, maybe.
Yeah, I would say at this point they're probably going to mandatory evacuate level A, which also means that's the Marriott downtown where all the players stay for training camp. So. Yeah, I think the Lightning will probably have to relocate up to Carolina.
Funny enough, they're playing the Hurricanes twice this week.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. So I'd probably just relocate up there and practice and do the games up there.
Yeah, but anyway, weather permitting, it should be a great game on Saturday. But I tell you what, that game, I don't know how much of it you got to see.
No, I recorded it, so I'm going to probably watch it tonight.
My gosh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Every single phase.
Nobody's talking about Jordan Travis for the Heisman.
He's in there.
I'm telling you, that LSU game, The freaking Louisville game. He obviously got hurt, but he started fast.
I've nenever seen such a string of good news and goodwill right now around this program.
How about
so long.
Hakeem Williams?
Hakeem Williams on Friday, Nicholson the week prior.
Five-star
I mean,
wide receiver who is just
he's a beast.
He's a
and
beast.
You know what's crazy about the receiving group? Remember last year we were talking about this receiving group, and I had to watch Andrew Parchment and all these guys. Number 1 ranked receiving group in Pro Football Focus, the Florida State Seminoles.
Really?
The number 2,
right now?
yes, the number 2 ranked quarterback in Pro Football Focus, Jordan Travis.
No way.
Yes way.
Wow. See?
Look at that. And one cycle of the transfer portal
and
changes
I did
that
watch
much.
the Clemson Wake game.
Oh,
FSU can beat both
game.
of those teams.
Crazy game.
They can lose to both of them too.
I think their defense right now is better than both of those, if I could say that.
Yeah.
Their defense is FSU is a top 20 defense nationally right now.
Yeah, the Bethune has to stay healthy.
Verse
got to
get back in there. Verse didn't play this weekend either.
Yeah, we need what's his injury status though? Is it week to week?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to get Verse back, got to get Lovett back, and Bethune, their linebacker, is key as well. So this could be a super special year for FSU. I mean, seriously, it's because they got this 3-game gauntlet. They got Wake at NC State and then Clemson. So 2 of the 3 are at home. Yeah, I mean, there's no way they're winning all 3.
No, probably not. But FSU also too ranked for the first
Hell,
time.
if they go 1-3 out of that, yeah, they're at number 23.
Yeah.
How about that?
Best team in the state of Florida now.
How was that Florida-Tennessee game?
Ooh, barn burner.
Yeah.
Really good game.
I watched a little bit of that.
Everybody's getting on Billy Napier for, you know what? He's aggressive. And if he wasn't aggressive in the first place, Florida wouldn't have been in that game at the end of it. He was, I mean, everybody's talking about it.
Well.
I thought they played well. Anthony Richardson had like 500 yards of offense.
453.
They let him play.
Yeah, passing, yeah.
I mean, you lose by 5 on the road to Tennessee. No shame in that.
Covered.
No shame in that. I'll tell you. I'll tell you who really disappointed me was USF. My God, 41-3 to Louisville.
Louisville's better than people think. Malik Cunningham is special, but come on.
I put that little stat right in front of your face right there because there's no getting around that.
Jeff Scott is 1-21 versus FBS teams. That's a 160 winning percentage.
That's overall. When you count in the wins against FCS.
Oh, that's right. That's less than 160.
Folks,
look,
I can't.
COVID year doesn't count.
I can't defend it right now.
COVID year doesn't count.
Going back.
But they got to be better than that.
It was the follow-up. It was always going to be the follow-up.
They got to win. They got to win at least, I'm going to say 4 conference games. But they're still not going to fire them because they don't have the money to replace the whole staff. Who are you bringing in? You got to give them another year. I know everybody's like, oh, if they get blown out, you got to get rid of them. Michael Kelly's not doing that. I'm telling you. He knows that the only way they're going to get out of this is by having some consistency. And you can't just keep flipping coaches. That's absolute mediocrity guaranteed. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the world premiere announcement of the Saturday night concert at the Valspar Championship. Tournament director Tracy West will join us for the big announcement. Stay with us.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go.
$77.99 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center and by Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves, lawgroup.com. If you did not get the full payout for what your car was worth when it was totaled by your insurance company, and that's a very common practice, if you had more money to spend to replace the car, well, you probably have a case. So call the great folks, call Scott Jeeves and his group at Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves, lawgroup.com to see if you have a case. It is a free call. Let's go to the website and contact them. All right, we want to welcome in our good friend Tracy West, tournament director at the Valspar Championship, with an exciting announcement. Hello, Tracy. How are you?
I am excellent, JP. How are you this morning?
We're great, even though the Bucs lost. My Seminoles did win, so they're 4-0, but the Bucs lost a tough one. But that happens. No biggie. We're not panicking.
They did, and my Michigan State Spartans lost as well.
Oh,
so it was a bad football weekend for yours truly.
All right. Well, nothing like a bit of good news that you're about to share with the world. And you always have great concerts. I can't wait to hear who is going to be the star attraction. So drum roll, please. Brrr, we're low budget here. Brrr. Go ahead.
Exactly. So for the Valspar Live presented by Chick-fil-A on Saturday, March 18th at the Valspar Championship, we have Darius Rucker.
Darius Rucker, Hootie. Yes. All right. One of my faves. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. I hope. Last year, dadgummit, I had a freaking lightning game and I couldn't go. So I got to check the schedule real quick. When's your dates again coming up?
Yeah, so the tournament itself is March 13th through the 19th. So the concert will be Saturday evening, March 18th.
March 18th, Darius Rucker. Oh, I cannot wait. How'd you pull that one off? He's awesome.
Yeah, we worked on it for past years, really asking him, and it just never really timed out the right way, but it timed out the right way this time. And we're really excited to have him. And I tried to go and see him and say hello at the President's Cup. He sang the national anthem for the opening President's Cup on Thursday, but couldn't get over to see him to say hello. But we're really excited to bring him to the Copperhead and have everybody, all our tournament attendees, be able to go over and see a free live concert, after tournament play. So you have to be ticketed. Buy a ticket to our Saturday tournament. Kids 15 and under are free, but for $70, you get to go and watch the tournament and then have a free concert by Darius Rucker. It's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, I would say that's a darn good deal, because you go see a Darius Rucker concert, it's going to cost you $100 anyway, just for the concert. You get a full day of golf. And my guess is, knowing how much Darius loves golf, that maybe he'll be around for the Pro-Am, and most of the week maybe you'll get to see him. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. He probably hasn't committed to that, but who knows, right?
Yeah, he hasn't, but the offer's out there, and
Of course.
I would assume, depending upon what his schedule is, if he's available, yes, as you said, he's a huge golfer, and I would think he would want to play in the Pro-Am, but it's all on his tour schedule. But we're just really excited that he'll be there on Saturday.
Well, yours truly actually shared a mic with Darius one time. He was, and I'm not sure he liked it.
Yikes.
This was at when the Super Bowl was in Jacksonville. Hootie and the Blowfish were the band for the media night, which they did at TPC, and they had a par 3 closest to the pin contest on 17, and then the tent was set up right next to it, and Hootie played, and they didn't really have a stage that much, so he was like right there with everybody, and of course, all these sing-alongs, I had to jump up there and help him out because he needed help. So, and like, get the drunk guy out of here, So, yeah. So I'll have to remind him of that when he comes on the show.
Do you remember what song you sang with him?
Only Want to Be With You. Of course. Yes. I love it. Do we have any
JP,
Darius?
we're not, don't ask. We are not putting you up on the stage with him. I'm sorry, my friend.
Can I just introduce him?
Here, you could sing along to him right now.
Maybe.
Okay.
Here, you can sing
we have
along
some
to him right
Darius?
now. Yeah, we'll play it here.
All right. Hold on, Tracy.
You can feel free to sing with him.
Okay. Well, yeah, it is my show, so I can't. It's a long intro. It's a good one. Oh, and the music video is him playing golf.
There you go.
You and me, we come from different worlds. You like to laugh at me when I look at other girls. Some say I'm crazy, and you wonder why. I'm such a baby, yeah, the dolphins make me cry.
That's all you get. That's all you get from me. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm. All right, but let's stick with Darius. Let's just stick with Darius. I think we'll be fine. So thank you so much for announcing that on the show. Very excited. I think everybody's going to be so excited. Universally loved. One of the greatest acts and so good live. I mean, it's like one big sing-along. Everybody knows all the words. So, it's going to be so much fun. So when do tickets go on sale? Give us the whole spiel. What's going on?
Yeah, so we're adding all the information to our website as we speak, and tickets will go on sale November 15th.
Okay.
So, but what folks can do is follow us on social, so Valspar Championship, or on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can go to our website, valsparchampionship.com, and sign up for our e-newsletter. And all those communication mechanisms will remind you as November 15th approaches, and you can be some of the first folks that buy tickets for that Saturday.
Awesome. That is going to be so fun. And while I got you here, real quick, I know there's a lot of new changes to the PGA Tour, a lot of enhanced purses. I think there's still more to announce in that field. I don't know if you guys have made the cut on that yet or expect to. And all the players have to play at least 20 events. So that's going to be probably even get the field even better. And it's been an amazing field every year anyway.
Yeah, that's, all that stuff is still being kind of shaken out, from a tour perspective, and, which of the events are going to be elevated in 2023, but who's going to be elevated, 24 and beyond.
Right.
So we like our position. And listen, JP, how we look at it is, this is Valspar. This will be the 10th year that Valspar will have been titled sponsor.
Nice.
And in those 10 years, we've really successfully transformed this tournament into a community event.
Yep.
And so we know we're going to have 144 great professionals out there. Don't know which ones, who yet, any of that, but we know they're going to be stellar. Put it this way. They're all one whole heck of a lot better players than the rest of us, right?
That's right.
So they're going to be great golfers to come out and watch. And it's a great happening. Our event is successfully now transformed into a must-attend event, a community event, a great gathering, great people watching, just a whole heck of a lot of fun. And, there's some great golfers out there too. So we think we're in really, really great shape for March. And, we're going to have the continued corporate and community support and fans coming out and enjoying great weather and walking around and having good food and drink and watching great PGA Tour players.
Well, and now we're going to watch one of the greatest country music acts of all time, Darius Rucker. I mean, his number of hits is like off the charts. He's a Hall of Famer. He puts on a great show. I cannot wait for that. And that's in November 15th, folks. Like Tracy said, this event has transformed. If you want the good tickets, and I'm talking about the Hooters Owls Nest, which always sells out, Saturday tickets are going to sell out. So November 15th, get on the newsletter and be ready to jump on because, they're going to go quick. So it's become that kind of event. So awesome. Tracy, thank you so much for joining us. Anything else you want to tell us?
No, that's
the big one.
That's about it. But just ValsparChampionship.com, and thanks JP for we always love breaking news with you. And now we're going to go and head it out on social.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Did we get it out on social? Did we read first? We first. All right. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Congratulations. That's going to be fun. All right, Darius Rucker. Yes. They're very much looking forward to it.
You were a big Hootie fan back in the day.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I saw Hootie. I saw him in the Blowfish maybe because they were kind of a North Carolina band. I was in North Carolina in 96, 97, 95, 96. So that's when I really got into Hootie. But even before that, so good. One of the best. So that's going to be fun. What else do we need to get to? Anything?
Quick note on the Rays, I guess. I'm not going to lie to anybody. There was a lot of football on this week. I watched the Rays when I could. They split against Toronto. More so the injury bug. No Brandon Lau for the rest of the season. Shane Baz, Tommy John surgery. So see you in 2024.
No good.
But again, water's wet. A young pitcher having Tommy John on the Rays.
Yeah.
Going down that route.
So now they go on the road.
For the rest. This sucks for the Rays. They have 9 games on the road, and then they got to go on the playoffs and probably play every game on the road.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The odds just are not in their favor there. McClanahan, a bad outing yesterday. No command. I don't think he's been as sharp since he's come back.
Nope.
Which does not lend yourself good to that. And then also, too, before we go we can go over, I guess, a little bit here. But they did a Kevin Kiermaier tribute video at the Trop on Saturday night. And then yesterday, he was actually walking in the concourses with the fans, greeting everybody.
So cool.
And it felt like it feels like a goodbye.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear they're trying to necessarily say goodbye because I guess they're both trying to work out a deal. Obviously not the salary that he's making, but that's what Kevin Kiermaier said. I don't think it's a goodbye. It's more of an appreciation thing, but clearly the organization is sending the signal, I think.
Yeah. And that's probably good. It's time to move on. But, hopefully they'll go out and take that money that they spent on Kiermaier because without his $15 million that he was supposed to make, the payroll to begin next year is probably going to be 30 or 40 million.
Dim.
What's that?
Might be a bit dim.
Yeah. So they got room. It means they got room to spend. They can go out and get a couple of big boppers, which is what they need. They got to get some proven hitters and some proven guys. As much as you want to play matchups and all that stuff, you need a guy to pencil in a 3-hole, playing first base every freaking day. And another guy to pencil in the 4-hole, playing, left field every single day, or third base or whatever you want to do. It's got to be, they just need 2 big, consistent bats. And let's start from there. The pitching's going to be, just imagine how that would transform this team. Just imagine how it would transform this team. It would be unbelievable. No 61 from Judge yet, so we're still waiting that. And what do we got tonight for Monday night?
The Giants and Cowboys.
Giants and Cowboys.
Can't wait.
Woo! It's a big game for the Giants.
What a bad weekend of football in the prime times. The Steelers and Browns.
Yeah.
The Broncos and Niners setting the offense back, and now backup quarterbacks and Dan. Oh.
Yeah, Jimmy G was not great last night.
We're not going to speak of it.
Okay.
We're not going to speak of it.
Okay. I got a 7-point lead in my going into it tonight, and they got the Cowboys defense going tonight.
I'm
so
happy
I need a big night from Saquon. Just beat him up. Daniel Jones, that great receiving core they have.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad for you. I'm glad.
Even though I screwed up my lineup.
You don't understand the pain of being in a 2-quarterback league and having Dak get hurt. And I'm riding with Russ and Davis Mills. You don't understand the pain that I'm in right now.
Davis Mills.
You don't understand the pain that I'm in right now.
Wow.
You can't even begin. Hey, in my running, when you have Najee and Kamara as your running, you don't understand the pain right now. I'm scoring under 100 points on a weekly basis at the moment.
I got Josh Allen as my saving grace. All right. That'll do it for us today. Our thanks to Tyoka Jackson, who joined us today. Boy, he was really, really good. Really fun chatting with him about the Bucs and college football. Hopefully we'll have him on each and every Monday, breaking it down. All right, race tonight. I think are they back out? They have the day off. I think I have the day off. We will be tomorrow more frivolity. We will see you then.